put it all back together with the hardware that I had, and I sat on it. Should be good. Welcome to Time by the Tent, another weekend here up at the land. An incredibly record-breaking warm weekend here in the early portions of October. Beautiful, beautiful day. Leaves are on the ground. Considerable difference from where we were a week ago. However, I am not going to hunt, at least that's the plan, due to the fact that we have had zero activity of deer movement this week on our cameras, multiple cameras on our property. It was slow the week before, and with this heat coming in, record-breaking heat, it's 82 degrees right now, or that was the high today, 76 plus tomorrow, a low tonight of 61. The average temperature up here where we're at on the property in the general area is 61 for a high and 39 for a low. That's the average. We are having the low temperature tonight at 61, which is typically the daytime temperature. Now, in a couple of days, the front moves through, everything changes, and we're back down to normal or below normal temperatures. So I do have a number of projects. It's going to be just a traditional camping weekend. Going to get the fire going. I got to go out in the woods and get some a battery off of one of the trail cameras, get that charging up because we're low on that. And with this trail camera here, the security camera, I've got to have a talk with it because I'm not sure what is going on. We left here last Sunday. It went 2 pictures just fine as it was supposed to. I turn it on, it takes a picture, and then I walk in front of it, make sure it triggers a picture in the app, and good to go. Sunday night, checked in, normal time, perfect. Monday morning, nothing. The app wouldn't even talk to it. So I requested some pictures. Nothing. And then all of a sudden, randomly, at 1:35 on Wednesday afternoon, a picture. And then at 8:19, a picture, which it typically checks in at 8:07. And then after Wednesday night, everything has been absolutely fine. I don't know. Kind of wish it didn't go off so I at least figure out what was going on. Every other camera on the property was going off just fine, as scheduled, planned, at night when things were walking in front of us. So it's beautiful, it's nice. If you were already in the stand setting, yeah, it wouldn't be bad. But getting in the stand, you're going to sweat to death and soak through your clothes. So that's where I'm at. Appreciate you coming along. If you like this kind of thing, this traditional camping, or in weeks to come, bow camp hunting, and deer hunting with Holly and myself, certainly drop a comment or subscribe. So I went and got the batteries for that trail camera. We're going to charge them up, take them out in the morning, and then put the strap on treestand, another ratchet strap to help firm it up, secure it to the tree better. Soaked all the way through my shirt. Okay, so last week Holly shot her 20 gauge. I pulled the full choke out of it. It's a smooth bore barrel. But it does have choke options in it, and I put a modified choke in it She wants to shoot it again next week. See how, now that she's got over the initial, I never shot a shotgun before, she has taken hunter safety, she's taken concealed carry classes, she's shot handguns on downrange in safe conditions, and has been very comfortable with those situations. So most likely I will end up mounting a scope on that gun, just because if she feels comfortable with the scope, I want her to feel comfortable and have less variables that could cause her to miss when an opportunity presents come gun season. This is our archery target. Pulled the bags down. One is by her blind, so she can discharge her bow if she doesn't fire it with a field point on. We were shooting at this, wasn't doing very good. Part of it could, from what I read, was that full choke was causing issues. Modified choke should make a very big difference in accuracy. We're shooting at 30 and we'll shoot at 50. So anyway, the short story is, had these in the house for several years. Father-in-law worked at a mobile station, or got these. He used to work at a gas station. I think that's where he picked these up at when they discarded them. It's just this corrugated plastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a 1x4 and lay this down face up. Get a 1x4 and split the difference, screw it in, and then it can lay up against here. So when we do fire the shotgun, we will see on a very large backdrop what is occurring, if it's the gun or if it's her, or what variables there is there. So that is what I'm going to do, so it's ready to go next week. I explained backwards. I've got the board right there. I'm going to use these inch and whatever screws on this 1x4 I had in the scrap pile in the shed. Fun little thing here. Look at that. I assume this at one point was an 8-foot board. Ace price $1.26. So I don't know what year that would have been. That a 1x4 would have been $1.26 for 8 foot long at Ace. It's been a while. So I'll show you when I get this done. There we be. It'll look real good. That's the bow puller. That's the archery. Well, it's got some fungus going on. And then you got this back here, and we're safe to fire. Beyond that, we know what's back there. It's safe, and nobody's back there, nothing's back there. So, set that up. Cans. Just for now, they'd be shooting right at the center of that metal lid. So, alright, that project's done. Mark it off. So my next project is going to be, this is our wood hut for keeping split dry wood. That's our wood pile, just logs that have been cut. Up here we have a smoker. Up here is wild cherry. Some of it's really good, some of it I've got to trim out and I chop in small chunks in order to feed the smoker. So what I want to do is I'm going to take this here and maneuver it, level that off, and put it right there. Use that plywood as just a box around it, just a three-sided box, to shed the water, the snow, whatever off of it. Plywood's not the best water shedding material, but that's what I have. It's free. It was in a pile of stuff in the shed, so that's what I'm going to use. Had a piece of inch or 3/4 inch plywood out here. It was in the tent, not in good shape, but it will work well for the back. That'll store a nice little chunk of wood. It is leaning a little bit that way, so I'll add a little more dirt to kick it level. So that'll be next step, or get it level, and then I can load it up with the wood I have up there. So the way I connected the plywood was, again, just some scrap. Screwed it from the top and the inside, very primitive, to lock it in. And I did the same on the back, on this side here, and then the screws just went through the plywood into the plywood. So I added a face plate or a bag here. It's an old kitty litter bag cut in half to keep a lot of the moisture from blowing in, like up here. That'll keep the top row dry, and then I can just go in there and get it. So that is complete. I'll get some more wood tomorrow. I got a tree down there I can cut off of, and take the wagon down and fill this up so it's completed. We won't smoke anymore this year, but it'll be ready. I don't think we'll smoke anymore. We don't really have the venison to smoke. That's what we're trying to hunt here, to fill the freezers back up. For supper at the Whitetail Lodge, we're gonna have chicken breast and french fries. Done french fries about a month ago, and they turned out really, really good. They almost had that consistency of fair french fries, or like restaurant french fries, because we can get the cast iron pot screaming hot, hotter than what you probably could typically get in your house. So it worked out really well. So that's the plan. I think that's going to do it for me tonight. We were able to get a couple of projects knocked out. The wood hut for the smoked wood, and the target back there, backstop. I do need to tomorrow work on this project here. This is a tree stand that I took down and replaced last week. This seat is all tore apart. So I need to take the bolts out of there, and I've got some washers, and try to extend this back and see if I can make that work. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to put a board there and create a permanent seat that doesn't fold. So a beautiful night, hot night. I'm not gonna hunt in the morning. As much as I want to, the desire to go out at 5:30, sweating, going to stand with 61 degrees being the low, which typically is the high, and not seeing any activity. Next week's gonna be a whole lot better, with highs in the low 60s, upper 50s, and lows in the low 40s and upper 30s. In 3 days, it's supposed to be 30 degrees. There's freeze warnings up here on the property in the Northwoods of Wisconsin in 3 days. So that's where we're at. So if I don't see you tonight, I will see you in the morning for breakfast. Well, good morning. Beautiful morning. Couldn't ask for a better morning if you're not hunting. 64 degrees in this early October morning. Really breezy. Gonna get windier. Threw the drone up just for a moment. Didn't take it too far because it was not happy with the speed of wind. It has a warning, high wind warning. So, I was happy to see there was no deer on the cameras this morning in the areas that I was going to hunt, so that was good. I didn't feel bad by staying in. So, that's just the way it is. 64. This is almost as warm. Opening morning, evening was 70-ish. So, alright, I'm going to get the fire going, get breakfast going, then work on several projects here. I got to wrap up the weekend. So from now on, following this weekend, I can completely focus on hunting. These were just some things I thought of because I knew I probably wasn't going to hunt this weekend, and knock out a few more things. So was able to get it fixed. I took the fabric and folded over twice, took a hot nail and punctured a hole through this material. This I took off, you saw that. Put it all back together with the hardware that I had, and I sat on it. Should be good for at least a while longer, and then at some point this will give way. And it was tore up for a solid year plus, just never took it down because I didn't have an extra stand to put up. So put it on my archery range here when we shoot archery. So very happy with that. Didn't have to do any additional work, didn't have to try to stretch a piece of wood there, so very good. So when I took out and swapped that battery out, I dug up 2 spruce trees, and I'm going to plant them down by the gate. If you're unfamiliar, when the leaves all come off, the road is 250 feet that way and a decline of about 46 feet, and you can see a lot, you can make out the tint. So the goal is along that road down there, I'm planting these trees that'll look like that in 5 to 8 years, about every 10 to 15 feet apart, and creating a hedge is what the ultimate goal is. I'll finish it up in the spring, but the last warm weekend here that I'm not deer hunting, I'll go and plant 2 more. I've got a lot of trees in the woods that look like that, and I've got 2 of them down by the driveway that I could dig up anytime, move over, which I'm not going to do. At this point I can plan ahead for spring. I need about another 15 trees, and then I'll go down, and I've got a wild red cherry which I use for smoking, that I tipped over last deer camp last year for firearm because it was really cold and I wanted to bring up some hardwood, which I've got that figured out this year with elm. And I'll bring a wagon full of that and trash wood up and whatever else I can gather and make a full load up here on that. So this is the back road that connects to our property, and along here is where I'm putting the trees. I've gotten 5 here and 2 way up there because the weeds are higher than I am, so it's hard to find. So it'll be a spring project when all this is down on the ground. So I need 17 more trees in order to get what I want. Like I've got one there, I've got one right there, and it's kind of up and down all around, but that will help when these trees are, you know, like that. It'll help block whatever be a cabin or whatever's up there, but it'll be many years, but you got to start sometime. All right, I've got a chunk of wild red cherry in here I'm going to cut with a chainsaw and then get that up there. Brought up, filled a wagon full of wood for smoking, for a little wood hut, and then just trash wood and limbs for the campfire. So that should be more than enough to fill that wood hut and probably have a little left over. So that's what was the goal. Campfire wood, that's the punky stuff inside, and then more than enough for the wood hut. So that'll be fine. I'll figure out where to stack it. And then pieces that didn't cut very good or had divisions or splits in them, like this here, that's just going to go for wood stove. That'll be a nice piece of wood to throw in on a cold night. So, working out quite well. That'll be enough wood for smoking for quite some time. Plus I have a 5-gallon bucket in the storage shed that's already split, ready to go in the smoker that I did way early in the year. So we're good with that. Well, that will do it. Another weekend here up at the land. Thank you so much for the 3 of you that made it this far. Let's put hot in the comments below. Let me know you made it this far. HOT is it. We are unseasonably warm. Didn't do any hunting. I don't feel bad. I feel bad I wasn't in a tree stand, but I don't feel bad because none of the cameras indicated anything was walking. I've got trail cameras very close in the proximity, well, right next to each tree stand. so I would know if something was there. That's how I plan where to go. If I want to go to stand A and there's deer there, I don't go to stand A, type of thing. Hot in the comments to let me know that you made it this far. Next week, totally different environment, temperature, the whole deal. So thank you so much, and until next time, I'll see you then.